Lemons on the Chain with the V cut. What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer, no. But if you're an indie artist looking for an album review and some promo, you can hit up Luke at redmattersite.com. And what I have for you boys and girls today is a review for Beyonce's album Lemonade. Now, Beyonce absolutely broke the internet and the world when she dropped Formation, which was just a banger, and it had those catchy lyrics about, putting hot sauce in her bag and letting Jay-Z go to Red Lobster with her whenever he crushes that pussy properly. And I thought that was an alright song. It wasn't one that I reviewed, but I really like what she was doing there because she was being very brash, strong, honest, and also representing for the culture while just giving zero fucks. And there are a lot of zero fucks being given all over this album. On the song Hold Up, she gets at Jay-Z for cheating as she wonders if it's worse to look jealous or crazy, and she lets him know how foolish he is for messing around when he has the baddest chick in the game in his sheets. This one kind of has a mischievous sound to it on the beat because of those little plucks, and on the end of it, she borrows from Soulja Boy's song, Hop Up Out the Bed, Turn My Swag On, which I thought was kind of a weird choice, but an interesting choice. And this song here isn't really one that I'm going to come back to, and I can say that about most of this album. But before people get all upset and carried away, I know how her fans can get, I clearly acknowledge that this album was not made for me. I am not the demographic. A lot of women are saying how empowering this album is, especially black women, and I'm not taking anything away from that because I think it's great whenever people can feel empowered by music or when they really relate to it. I'm just pointing out that all I can do here is review this one for the music while also talking about the content and the themes, but obviously I didn't really relate to this one too much. But things really pick up on the song Don't Hurt Yourself featuring Jack White. This one is just an all-out rock and roll track, so I really thought this was interesting, and I like the way Beyonce's vocals sounded on here because she was so angry as she let Jay-Z know that he ain't married to no average bitch, and if he keeps messing around, he can watch that fat ass bounce on to the next dick because she has her own millions anyway. So clearly there's some shit going on here. I don't know what's going on exactly. I've heard all the rumors and people are talking about Becky with the good hair because of that line on Sorry, which by the way was one of my least favorite tracks because of that bland synth production and the line about sucking on her balls. But you're gonna get a whole lot of relationships-based content on this one. That's sort of the theme, or at least that's what I took from it, because it starts off with her being kind of angry at Jay-Z cheating. Again, I don't know what the exact truth is to that, but that's how it starts off. And then throughout the album, she kind of warms up, and by the end of it, she's forgiving him and accepting her family. So I'll talk about some of those tracks later on, but you're gonna get songs on here that are kind of slow and drowsy too, and those are some of my least favorite tracks. I'm talking about the song Sandcastles, where, as far as I can tell, she's drawing a parallel or a comparison between how sandcastles are very delicate and so are relationships, and that's followed up by the song Forward featuring James Blake, and that is just an even duller and drowsier piano track. I get the appeal of them because it shows off her vocal stylings, but I wasn't into those tracks, man. I thought they were kind of just slow and boring. But one thing that is really interesting, I know I keep talking about shit that's interesting on here, but there's a lot that's interesting here, is the fact that she really messed around with a lot of different genres. I already talked about the rock and roll theme she had going on Don't Hurt Yourself, and on the song All Night, this comes on the later part of the album, this is that song where she's really sort of coming around and acknowledging that love can overcome everything. And she does it over this production that reminds me of something that maybe Mayor Hawthorne might get on, because it has this very smooth groove to it. But the track that caught me off guard the most was Daddy Lessons, because this one is just an all-out country track with some horns and harmonica that come in and out on the intro and the outro, and she's singing about how her dad taught her a lot of lessons and taught her how to be strong. But if you're not into country music, I'm really not sure how much you're going to vibe with this one. Maybe Yellow Wolf has warmed you up to country music if you're a hip-hop fan, so think of this in that same type of vein. Not really trying to compare these two artists, they're very different, but once you hear the song I think you'll know what I mean, because it's a country track, and that's what Yellow Wolf was fucking around with. But my favorite track on here has gotta be Freedom. It has this dope production from Just Blaze, who brought some really great samples that just have that inspirational theme to them, and it features Kendrick Lamar as well. So once I saw this title, and I saw that it was featuring Kendrick Lamar, I knew we were going to be in for some black empowerment shit, because obviously the title, Freedom, and Kendrick Lamar has been one of those guys who has sort of been pushing that movement, especially with the To Pimp a Butterfly album. So that's exactly what you're getting here, as Beyonce is singing about freedom and breaking chains, and Kendrick is spitting about how we just gotta open our minds up and get away from being oppressed. So I thought this was a very powerful song, some shit you could march to, and I'm sure we're gonna see this one being used in some trailers. It's also just nice to hear that Just Blaze production because he's one of my favorite producers, man. He's been putting out fire for a long time, so shout out to Just Blaze. And overall, I think this is a pretty cool album, man. It's definitely not trash. I've seen some people saying that. And of course, like any other album, there are a lot of people saying that this is a classic. But either way, I thought this was a pretty interesting album. There are a lot of unique sounds on here, including on 6 Inch, where The Weeknd jumps on this bassy production, and that one is basically just a braggy boss bitch anthem. But 3.5 out of 5 for me. I like the themes and the content, but the sound of this is just all over the damn place, man. That's just what I thought about this album. Lemonade, pretty dope. Check it out for yourself. Let me know what you think. And make sure you do all that good YouTube and social media stuff, man. Where you like my videos, you share them, you follow me on Twitter, you retweet the videos, and you especially subscribe to my channel. We're moving on up, baby, baby. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time.